then there are people whose like dads actually fuck them in the ass, and
they're often very Christian.
That seems worse than crucifixion to me. I don't know. That just.
Well, I don't know. I've never been crucified.
I'm not.
I don't know what the bones in your hand.
I don't know.
I don't know what the bones in your hand feel like if they're supporting your whole body weight. Maybe that feels awful.
Probably terrible.
Maybe that's awful.
It's definitely awful.
Dude,
but
right.
like, your dad ass raping you, I think is at least equivalent.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
All right.
And God is like, nah.
It's fine.
No, like, I crucified my son, but it doesn't cover that. It's like getting shitty insurance.
Well, also, this is where my brother fucks up, and you shouldn't think about this, fucking podcast family, but fucking, did Jesus, like, forgive that guy? Is he fine with that? He's not.
The guy who crucified him?
No, the guy who fucked the kid in the ass.
Fucked his kid in the ass?
Yeah.
I mean, if he says
Jesus
he's sorry...
So, like, I listen to
If he says he's sorry before he dies...
Dude, I listened to this NPR podcast, and the shit fucked me up so bad, because it was the most Christ-like thing.
Yeah.
And I want to say something real quick, because there's people listening to this that aren't here. I want to be clear. When they told me when I was, like, 10 years old, I came to Augusta. So I came to Georgia when I was 8. We lived in a trailer park for, like, a year and a half. And then I went to a church when I was, like, 10. And they told me at this church, we said, some dude came down here. He was made of perfect love. He understood everyone, right?
Yeah.
And he knew how to treat everyone with love. And he cured the sick, right? Yeah. And he tried to disavow hypocrisy when he saw it, even in the religious groups that were supposed to be identified with him, because Jesus was a Jew, right? He even identified himself as a Jew. He thought he was starting the new Judaism. He didn't see himself as a Christian. The people that followed him were Christians.
Right, exactly. But Christianity didn't start until after he was dead.
But he thought that he was like, whoa, I'm correcting this shit. So they told me this guy came down to earth with perfect love in his mind, and he was going to cure everyone and teach everyone perfect love. And these monkeys down here on this rock fucking nailed him to a board about it, and I was like, that tracks! That makes so much sense. If you came down here and you tried to teach these fuckers how to love each other, they would kill you. They would kill you so quick.
Yeah.
And so, like, Jesus...
Just look at Charles Manson.
Yeah. Honestly, he was trying to teach perfect love.
Just look at, who's the Unabomber? Ted Kaczynski.
I'm gonna be honest.
He was just trying to stop technology from taking over our entire lives. And look what happened.
So, like, Charles Manson. We can drill in on that bit.
Let's do it.
Charles Manson is a product of
MK Ultra.
MK Ultra, the government project to try to control people's minds.
Right.
What
LSD.
What they found out from that project was that if you can dissociate people enough, and you can do this with trauma or a large amount of drugs, which communicates to the brain is the same thing.
Yeah.
Then you can control them.
Yeah.
And so what do now? They try to instill a new fucking trauma every fucking 6 years, and you can almost count it down. 9/11 was 2001.
I don't know. The COVID thing's been going for a while. I feel like they're kind of like
milking that shit.
They're milking that shit as much as they can.
Well, it's working. My niece is so fucking mad at me about fucking not getting vaccinated that I am not gonna lie. I am fucking like, shit, should I get fucking vaccinated right now?
I see, and the thing is, like, I would have gotten instantly vaccinated as soon as it came out if it wasn't mandatory. Stop making me have to do things, okay? That makes me suspicious. When you're like, you have to do this. And then when I ask for a reason, they're like, because you're an idiot if you don't. Then I'm like, okay, well, hold on here. Like, what am I really supposed to be doing?
Well, so what the government does, what everything does, the foundational support of all society is violence or denial, right?
Yeah.
So you were homeschooled, right?
Yeah.
Did you have meningitis vaccines? Do you know?
No, I had hardly any.
You don't have to have any vaccines if you're homeschooled.
Nope.
And what's ironic about that, Andrew, is you're still equally as unsusceptible to like polio as I am, because the chain of communication is already broken by so many vaccinated individuals. Now, how did the government do that? How did they protect Andrew from polio?
Mandatory vaccinations.
They made sure that every Frank and Brittany and Chris that went to school were denied a service if they didn't get vaccine. So like you were denied a service. You didn't get home. You didn't get public schooling, right?
Right.
To get that service, your family would have had to vaccinate you.
Yeah.
So like
when I went to college, they were
they wanted you to get meningitis.
They wanted
vaccine,
me to get
right?
vaccinated, and I took a religious exemption
Mm-hmm.
because I'm so religious. If you couldn't tell.
That works for your family. This is a bit, and fuck you guys. I'm gonna use it on. I don't care. But the bit is, my dad wanted me to be a conscious objector, and I think it's really sweet and dad-like of him. I think the military would take me at all.
Yeah. Bro.
Like, y'all can't see me, but I'm 90
Isn't it
pounds.
like
What?
the first time you get antidepressants, you're disqualified from the military?
Is that real?
I think that's real.
Because also, why do we prescribe so many antidepressants if it's that disqualifying? Like, if I can't fire a gun, why do I get to work?
It's definitely a factor. Like, I've heard people that wanted to join the military, but they're like, oh, I can't because I was on, antidepressants or whatever. And I'm like,
I've never heard that.
then
I've heard
why
eczema.
the fuck did you want to join the military?
Well, one of the reasons...
I guess maybe to die.
Yeah, honestly. One of the reasons they don't want you to get, have a pre-existing condition is, I know a girl that got denied from the Air Force because of eczema.
Yikes, what?
Right, because they didn't want to pay for her medication. They were
okay.
They were like, you can technically join, but...
Yeah.
But, fucking... I don't know, she used the word denied. I don't know if that's accurate or not. But,
Honorably discharged.
No, she just didn't get to get on. Her dad was in some kind of military, and she wanted to get in the military.
Have you ever had an honorable discharge?
Have I ever had an honorable discharge?
I mean, like a discharge, but you didn't feel shitty about it.
One time, me and my ex, we were dating, and I wanted to fuck. She didn't. It was a soreness situation, and we did this whole pantomime thing that resulted in an honorable discharge. I feel like it was technically me masturbating, but I had the assistance of someone who wanted me to fucking
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's accurate.
Co-masturbating counts as sex.
Co-masturbating, right? Yeah, it counts as sex. It wasn't sex, and that
it counts as sex unless you're Catholic.
If you're Catholic and you don't want it to, you're good. Guys, if you're Catholic and you just don't want your pastor to know about you having sex, you can
just
lie.
do anal.
Jesus, Mormon, but without all the butt stuff. I met this girl that was super Mormon, but without all the butt stuff. She was super cool, but...
There's a line in one of the recent episodes of Rick and Morty where Subber goes, I promise to use a condom even when I'm doing butt stuff.
Dude, I didn't get all the butt stuff, but there's a prostate up there. I've got a fraternal twin brother who swears by this. Guys, that's an exit only. I'm working on it.
Bro.
I'm very misogynist.
If your twin brother says it's real, that's scientific as fuck.
That is scientific as fuck.
That's literally the same butthole.
I want to run bits about my twin, because one of the funniest things is...
I didn't even, until we were on the way to Columbia and you were talking about it, I was like, wait a minute, this motherfucker got a twin?
He doesn't look like me. He actually looks like more... I feel like you and Will would be better twins than me and Will.
Okay.
Because he looks like he's got, the olive skin, the high cheekbones. He got all the good Native American vibes. He's even got, the, if y'all can imagine the Batman, salt and pepper hair.
Okay.
He's got that. He's my age.
Does he keep it short? Or?
Yeah, he keeps it short. He doesn't really grow it out like I do. Fucking.
Is he super successful? Totally opposite of
very
what you
opposite
are?
of me. Fuck you. Yes. Fuck you. I love you, buddy, but you're dead on with that.
Yeah.
He's good at money.
He's got a real job.
He's who I borrow money from when I'm real fucked up. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm the twin that didn't have to develop that. I'm working on it so hard.
Look, I've got an older brother that's got he's got a house and a wife.
How insecure does that make you? Dude, they're married.
Bro,
right.
I about jumped out his window. The first time... No. Okay, so let me tell this story.
Jumped out his window.
So... I went over to see my brother's house for the first time because, me and him, we went smashing mailboxes together. We were I was 16.
Midwestern shit, y'all.
Yeah, so we went smashing mailboxes together. I got arrested for it. He also got arrested for it, but I didn't get charged with anything because I was a snitch. This was discussed on Lamar's podcast.
Look, yo, we got the mailboxes. We got the mailboxes up the street. They weren't my mailboxes that I was smashing.
Anyway, so
listen to Lamar's podcast.
So I got out of it, and after that, me and my brother haven't really talked. very much whatsoever at all. Like, there have been a few attempts that I've made, and I'm sure he's made attempts.
How
I
close
don't
are
know.
y'all in age?
A year and a half.
So he's a year and a half older than you?
He's a year and a half older than I am.
Dude, this is misogynist, but your mom.
Yeah.
That's
Bro.
a, she was on it.
Like a woo woo.
Yeah,
like a
she
freight
was
train.
on it. Yeah.
Anyway.
She loved your dad a lot.
Yeah. Jesus.
As in frequently. This is not funny. I'm sorry.
It just makes it better that they're divorced. But anyway.
Oh,
So-
you should do videos so they can see me die. Like,
So I go over to my brother's house because he's having a big family get together. Everybody in the family showing up, and we wanted to show everybody his new house and whatnot. And we get there, and they're taking us on a tour of the house, and then they show us. Oh my fucking god! In the middle of the story, motherfucker didn't put.
it's
his
a
phone
bill
on
collector,
silent.
y'all. I'm very successful.
Oh shit! Yeah, I used to get those. And then I filed for bankruptcy. But anyway, so we go to see his new house, and at the very end of this tour, his wife shows us the new baby's room.
Oh shit.
That I had no idea she was pregnant.
Oh, shit.
But this was their way of announcing
Dropping
the
the
brand new
bomb.
baby. And like I almost instantaneously start like hyperventilating. And this is like on the second story
Is
of
this
this
your
house.
first uncle moment, or
No, I had been an uncle before
you
that,
just weren't
but like
expecting this?
just the fact that he has his own house, he's a fucking firefighter now, and then he's got a
And
baby.
you're like, I'm an
He's got
electrician.
he's got a wife in a successful relationship. He hasn't been divorced yet.
Oh my god!
like-
don't get me started.
Everybody like
Dude,
half,
they gave my brother.
the other half of the family has been divorced at this point.
They gave my brother the family ring, which they found. I've been dating
Oh,
this girl.
shit.
Like I've been dating this girl semi-seriously for like 6 years. My brother meets this girl at his work, and they're like serious, and he gets engaged. And they dig out this family ring out of nowhere. I was like, oh,
shit.
okay, fuck you guys.
Yeah,
The problem is, like, my brother is the stable one.
yeah.
Like, you're talking about your brother in
Right.
that sense of,
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
you're just like, I
So-
don't have that.
So I am upstairs in their house, like hyperventilating. There's a bunch of people on this tour, and that is, the rest of my family.
Right.
So like I go back to the bathroom, which has a window overlooking like the area where we parked, like the side of the house that we parked at, and I was like so fucking close, like within millimeters of just jumping out the fucking window and running to the car. Like I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I can't handle this right now. I just don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. And this motherfucker has everything figured out. And like I awkwardly, like I didn't jump out the window, but Brittany convinced me to just like leave normally.
Good.
I mean, semi-normally. We left very abruptly because we were like supposed to stay for dinner and all that shit. But like, we were just like, hey, we gotta go. We forgot something at the house, which is like he doesn't live far from where I live, so
I'm going all the way
we
home.
were like,
4
we're
miles
going
away.
to go get something from the house, and then we just never came back. And like, I don't know. I still haven't said much to him. He had the baby, and I went and met the baby at my mom's wedding. So I've seen the baby a couple of times, but like, bro, it's complicated.
Life is complicated. Fucking families are complicated.
Life is, yeah.
I don't have that. My sister, luckily,
You
I
have
don't
a
know.
twin
she's-
brother. You're telling me that shit's not complicated?
No, that shit
That
is
shit don't make
complicated.
you feel some type of way?
Dude, he's got. Well, the bright side of that is
You literally had the same starting line.
the bright side of that is he doesn't have what I want. So he's,
Right.
he's better off economically than I am, but I make more money than him monthly. I just blow a lot of money on weed cards. You know what I mean? I'm that family member that's like, I need to borrow money, but just because I'm fucking dumb. So that's not super great. And it sucks because, like, the dude can drink. He can drink normal. So, like,
Yeah,
that bugs me a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
because
And
that makes it all your fault.
that makes it kind of me, yeah. And just like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm the weird one. I can't do this. But,
Yeah.
like, the other side of that is, like, he met this girl, he got married, they've got, like, a farmstead and shit. I don't really want all that.
See, and like with my brother, like it's not like I don't want to be a firefighter with a
Right, you
wife
don't want
and
all
a kid
that,
and
let's
a
be
house.
honest.
I don't want that.
You are what you think about.
But-
You are what you want. Right
But
now.
if I did want that, I would be fine. Instead, what I want is to be a, awesome stand-up comedian that makes money just telling jokes, and I don't have it.
We're gonna get there, man.
So like I don't know if like being
like,
a
the
firefighter
value-
is what he wants, but like
No,
he has at least something. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't feel like. I'm glad things have worked out the way they have in my life, but that doesn't disentitle me to being dissatisfied with where I'm at right now. If that makes sense.
It does not.
So like, I'm not. You are what you manifest, right? So like,
You are what you think.
I am what I think right now. I'm
Yeah.
the fucking
Thanks, Oprah.
I'm the semi-functional middle management call center guy that I want to be right now, because that's the
Yeah, but you support
Confluence.
yourself. You're living.
yeah, I mean, I'm doing okay. I'm not doing bad, but that's the confluences of what you want to be right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could, Andrew, accept the level of like creative
Electrician.
dysfunction. No, you could. Well, you
Or-
could accept the level of the electrician and like make. Honestly, electricians can make buku bucks. There's a pretty
Yeah.
high end cap on what they can do if you get
It's not-
unionized and you get
I don't
really
think that's my
specialized.
purpose in life.
Well, that's the thing is,
That's-
you ever watch fucking Soul? There's a
Yes.
Disney movie.
Yeah.
So there was this guy in that movie that inspired me. He talked about how he wanted to be like a singer, and he had a beautiful voice, but he was happy.
The barbershop guy.
But he was
Yeah.
happy doing the barbershop thing because he got to hang out with his people.
Yeah.
So there's this. Your life is this confluence of like your highest aspiration of what you want to be, and then your lowest aspiration of like
Yeah.
the input you're willing to put in.
See, but there are definitely times doing electrical work that I get into the flow state.
Oh yeah.
Where it's that, like I'm just focusing on what I'm doing. I am exactly who I am at that point. It's like a meditative practice.
It's like that with customer service. It's going to sound super weird, but I run
That
bits on
does
this.
sound super weird.
But you call me, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to set you back right. These emotionally uncalibrated women are like little sea turtles that I have to. They're like walking off a table. They're like baby sea turtles walking off a table, and I just got to turn them around and set them back.
I want you to have like a massive heckler at some point, because like I feel like you need to unlock that skill set, but in the other venue, because you have that skill set of diffusing a person. And that's a lot of what dealing with a heckler is how do I diffuse this situation? Except now you don't have the restraints of I'm working for this company and I have to
No, you can
represent
dunk on
this.
their ass. Yeah.
You can dunk on their ass, but
Dude.
you also have to know when to pull it back so that, like, for example, there was this time when I was in Austin and I was doing this open mic, and there was literally, it was comedians at almost every open mic. And this
Some other
mic
fucking comedian was dabbing on your ass.
No. This mic was no different. It was mostly comedians. And then there was 3, what I would consider, audience members. They had stayed from the previous show, which was a paid show, and they had stayed over to watch the open mic afterwards.
So they did a paid
And-
show, like a live event with a paid comedian.
Yeah, and then they stayed afterwards.
They were like open mic.
Yeah, for open mic.
Okay.
Which is how a lot of the clubs there work. Like, they're constantly running fucking... They're constantly running shit.
Y'all, it's 1792. Y'all want a nice whiskey?
Made right after the Declaration of Independence.
No. It's, that's not a bad bit.
But
I think
anyway...
it's Canadian, too.
Anyway, this one lady in the group, Bridget, kept talking to all the comedians on
Kentucky.
stage. And one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in comedy was almost every single comedian that got up after Bridget started, quote, heckling. She was really just, like, trying to interact and being, it wasn't like she was saying that they were terrible or talking shit to the comedians. She was just trying to put in her 2 cents as well. And the way that I saw these comedians deal with this was fucking phenomenal. They walked perfectly the line between, like, you don't want her to leave because she's it's a third of the entire
third
audience.
of your whole audience, yeah.
So you don't want her to leave, but you want to make fun of her enough that the comedians and everybody else in the audience is fucking cracking up. And it worked. And, like, there is that line to be walked.
I'm not gonna lie.
And I feel like customer service would contribute to that.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna lie. I feel like customer service is the whole bit with comedy.
There's a lot of bits.
You're filling out the crowd in the same way. And so, like, the way I say it to my bosses is, like, I wrestle bears. These when they call in, they're, like, fucking gnarly. You know what I mean? I gotta get them back to a place of, like, I gotta take this bear and make him back into a jackalope. You know what I mean? I gotta, like, talk him down into a little rabbit state. But comedy's like that. It's kill or be killed. You get out there and you're like, either somebody's gonna laugh at this shit, I'm gonna land with the girl next to you and you're gonna laugh as a nervous response, or I'm gonna die and you're gonna laugh at how fucking dead I am. You know? It's very kill or be killed. It's very wrestling bears. And
or they're not gonna laugh at all.
That's one thing I like about comedy is it's very much like wrestling bears. Sometimes there's a part of me that feels like you're made for this level of stress that you don't really attain. Like, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, there's this level of stress. It's like the stress and payoff. I used to call it the happy button.
Adrenaline used to be worth something.
Yes, you want to mash the happy button. You want to hit that thing that makes you feel like you're alive. I'm in this meat suit. I'm here for,
Well, is it the happy button or is it the, like, go button? Because, like, the happy button is like, there's serotonin and there's...
so, there's serotonin and dopamine.
Dopamine.
Yeah. And the problem,
dopamine is the motivation one. Serotonin is the reward one.
Yeah. The problem with me is I feel like I've got kind of deficient levels of serotonin.
You might also be an adrenaline junkie.
I'm chasing around. Yeah, no, I am an adrenaline junkie because it's the only thing I can feel.
Yeah.
Like, I'm chasing around.
Which, being on stage, that's a fuckload of adrenaline.
Dude, when I say that was a hit, like, I love you, brother, because, like,
bro,
I've never had a hit like that wasn't drugs.
Yeah.
Like,
I felt the exact same way.
Stand-up is like drugs. Like,
It literally is.
I don't feel the same way about anything else except drugs. Like, if you... And it'd have to be good drugs. Like, it'd have to be, like, good speed or good fucking boy. Like, not to fuck your fucking...
Or some 1792.
Not to fuck your audience up. But, like, yeah, honestly, this is good boy. This is 1792. If you haven't ever drank it, by the way, guys, it's a really stiff whiskey. It's small batch, so the percentage is not on there, but it's about 30%. One sec. It's to be a whiskey. We're not all
junkies. We don't need the percentage.
No, you do. To be a whiskey, it's have to be in a certain percentage, but it's really strong whiskey, and I'm gonna stop talking about it now. But there's this thing of, like,
going on stage, the adrenaline.
Yes, the hit.
Let me just tell you, I cannot wait until you get, like, an actual show with people that have come there to see comedy.
And I die.
And no, and you fucking murder. Like, because you're going to. It will happen.
You're a good friend.
It'll happen.
Dude, I've had moments of murder.
Because the high from that...
It's so real.
Woo!
Dude, I've had moments
of murder. But it fades so fast.
That first night when I went out there and I was like, I've never done this before.
Yeah.
But we're going to be okay. If we push through, I think we'll have a good time. I thought of that bit on the stairs at Joe's Underground, and it murdered.
Yep.
So, like, I thought of it, and then 10 minutes later, I delivered it.
Yep.
And it had the reaction I wanted. The 8 people that I wanted to laugh all, like, stopped drinking their drink.
Yeah.
That's all you want. It's to, like, get, like, dude...
Even if it's not an audible laugh, if you're at a place like Joe's Underground where you can see the entire audience and judge their reactions in a quick, like, glance across the bar, and you're like, holy shit, okay, so they didn't, like, bust a nut laughing, but they gave that gut reaction. This involuntary shit was there.
There's this fucking... Brittany, I think, recorded it, and I think she recorded it because it came on after you. And she was already recording because you were on, right?
Yeah.
And so I had forgotten to record it. But the bit, like the set was solid as fuck.
Keep going. I'm going to take a piss.
Yeah, take
since
a
we're
piss.
outside.
I'm gonna talk about. All right. We're gonna talk about Andrew's long ass dick. Y'all, he had to back up. He had to back up about 3 feet from the fence line just now. So there's a comfortability level that I reach, audience, with people where I can pee and like defecate while they're listening, and I strive for that with people that I live with and love. And I'm glad to know that not only am I there with Andrew, but that you there, audience, are also there with Andrew, because he's sharing this with you. This is his raw body, his monkey form, his raw, muddy, human, bipedal fucking.
My threshold for peeing around people is very low.
So what you heard just now was rain? I'm just kidding.
Yes. No.
I actually peed in front of the municipal building the other day. And
What?
I felt like such a G. Yeah, I love that building downtown. It looks like it looks like the Matrix. It's like this big black and white building. It's like marble, and there's this big dick out in front. It looks like a fucking...
Fantastic.
You know what I'm talking about. It's like a big
I think I've
obelisk.
seen the building before, yeah.
It's an obelisk. They've got an obelisk out front in the middle of the road, and it's just...
Government is all about putting up penis statues.
Yeah, they love that shit.
I love it.
Government and weed pipe makers love
Yep.
penises. Why are weed pipes always shaped like penises?
Yeah, it's just natural.
We're gonna circle back to a conspiracy thing that I wanted to get on earlier, but fucking...
Yeah.
This girl told me one time, she was like, the worst lie they ever told us was that it was casual sex. And I'm like, I don't know, baby. Because that's what I was going for, guys. I'm a little drunk, but I'll be honest with you, that's where I was shooting with that. So I was a little bit sad when she said that. But
I think the worst lie they ever told us was that birds are real. But
birds are... I've had a pet bird. I petted it. It seemed
you had a
pretty...
pet drone. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I was 8. It might have been fake. But I will tell you that the worst lie the government tells you is they don't want you on drugs. It's not about the casual sex or any of that shit. The casual sex is part of it. They want you depressed. So they push casual sex on you because they want you to build impersonal reactions to people.
Is that the drugs, is that the government or is that the companies?
Companies and the government are together. They both...
Well, I think the companies run the government right now.
Yeah, a little bit. But let's say Frank and Andrew just now got elected to president of the U.S. We were like fucking the kings of the U.S. Me and you were the Spartan kings. Both of us decide what it is. It's 2 kings, it's us.
Yep.
The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to talk you into cowing these fucking people. Because there's a lot of them, and I don't need
Culling?
Cowing.
Cowing?
Cowing is different from culling.
What is cowing?
Culling is killing a certain number of people.
Right, yeah, thinning the herd.
Cowing is making something domestic.
Well, government's been working on that for a long time.
We've been working on that.
Yeah.
Actually, it's women, by the way. Women are the problem. I'm just kidding. Men are the problem. But women are the problem. But women have been selecting for more intelligent and more docile mates since we started being humans, right? And
Not since we started being humans, but since we started society.
Maybe that created humans. But in general, you kill the guys. Like, if there's some guy in your neighborhood that's running around murdering people, right? One of my friends called me today because one of his neighbors keeps walking back and forth and, like, flash his wife or his dick. And that's a real thing, guys. That's like a...
Weird?
Yeah, this guy needs help, but the government, the cops can't help because he doesn't have a first and last name. They just have his description of a guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he got a bunch of cameras because that's what you do now.
So you can get pictures of the dick.
I guess they need a picture of his dick so they can be like, hey, this is what he's showing my wife. Where I was going with that is, like, no one...
It's like a fingerprint, though. You could identify him by it.
Well, that's the idea, is you can identify him by that. But if someone is running around doing that, let's say he's going farther than that. Let's say he's not showing your wife his dick. He's giving your wife his dick. She may or may not be okay with it. You're living in a tribal neighborhood in, like, Sparta or what's the word?
America?
Mesopotamia or Mesoamerica. Yeah. Anything pre-colonial, you're going to kill that fucker, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if some guy Jacob's running around just, like... So this guy that lives down the street from this guy, he hit my friend with a rock. Let's say some guy Jacob is running around hitting people with rocks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're in, like, a pre-Columbian, like, pre-colonial society, everyone's really kind of like niched in with each other. You don't need that guy Jacob around. He's a fucking murderer or a raper or whatever the fuck.
You don't need a violent...
So you murder him.
Yeah, you murder him.
And that sucks, but in the Bible they call it stoning. But it's murder, right? So as these guys that are highly antisocial get murdered, over time, we become more docile as people. Because the more antisocial, less docile elements of our society are getting culled by the group, right?
Yeah.
So we're kind of, I was listening to your podcast with the dog breeder, and I was thinking about how we dog breed each other.
Yeah.
We really do. We're becoming a more pretty, more intelligent people because we only want to fuck people who we think are intelligent and pretty. Right? We got rid of...
Yeah, but nowadays, 2021, like, it's not even...
We can fake a lot of that shit, right?
Well, I don't know if people are necessarily faking it, but I think there is generally a larger group of acceptance for, like, you know, overweight people or not...
You say
classically pretty people.
But you know the bit that I haven't run this yet, but I'm working on the walk-up.
How many bets are you going to give away in this podcast?
4 so far.
4?
4 so far. Probably more. I don't
Probably
care.
More.
I don't give a fuck. Guys, come out to Joe's. I'll run these bits and they'll be actually, like, good.
Maybe.
Good, maybe. I don't know.
See. Probably
shit. Yeah, let's be honest. They go okay. But, fucking... God damn it, what were we talking about? God damn it, Andrew.
Fat people.
Fat people. Oh, the bit. There's no, there's acceptance for everyone. Everyone. Right? You're transgender? Accepted.
Except Jews.
No. Jewish? Accepted. 100%.
Yeah.
Because the Holocaust was real. And if you don't believe that, they'll kick you off fucking Tumblr. But fucking, there's acceptance for everyone except the uglies. Like, real talk.
Except the who?
Except the uglies.
The uglies.
The uglies are not accepted.
Look,
you go on Instagram, there's no uglies. You go to the movies, there's no uglies in the movies.
And I don't want to...
Look,
I don't want to sound cocky. I don't want to sound full of myself. I don't want any of those things. But you know what the difference is between me and somebody who a lot of people would consider a fucking creep and a weirdo? Is that I'm more attractive.
Yeah. Actually, I realized
I'm into feet.
I realized that at 16.
The instant somebody says that they're into feet, like you, cringe a little bit, right? Like
I realized that at 16. The difference between hot and creepy is whether or not you like their cheekbones.
Yeah.
Think about it. I had a girl...
The difference between a good dancer and a bad dancer is whether or not they're attractive. Or cool.
Confidence can play into that. Because
confidence can play into that, but if everybody thinks you're a nerd already, it doesn't matter how much confidence you have. They're still going to think that your dance was nerdy, even though it's the exact same thing that Chris Brown is fucking doing.
That's very true.
Because Chris Brown does some ridiculous, stupid bullshit on the dance floor that I know I've done before. I'm just not black and handsome. Like...
Very true. You are handsome, not black. But, so the thing with, like, attractiveness is we allow this double standard, right? Because...
Which double standard is that?
That it's okay to be, like...
It's okay to be a creep if you're hot?
It's okay to be a creep if you're hot. Drake.
Yeah.
Drake is my, like, drop the mic.
Well, people...
I'm sorry,
don't like
podcast family, are you mad about Drake?
No, you're wrong, though, because people don't like Drake anymore.
Well, we'll see.
People are... No, people are... I mean, okay, you're right. Everybody's still probably going to listen to his album.
We'll fucking see, yeah.
Like, if R. Kelly dropped a new album, you know people would be on that shit. Like,
yeah.
As much as that motherfucker
and R. Kelly
an
pees on preteens.
Preteens.
Like, literally...
Preteens.
15-year-olds...
Cool peeing on people.
15-year-olds have testified.
Teenagers?
Dude. Alright, so, Donald Trump. Donald Trump is settled out of court.
Yeah.
With minor children. Probably so is Joe Biden. Let's be honest. He's been prominent as well.
Well, okay. So the thing is, I think Joe Biden has kept it quiet enough. I think Joe Biden has kept it under wraps enough because I saw a thing the other day. Somebody posted some post about how, so you're just gonna let me think that this is normal, and it was like 16 different photos of Joe Biden sniffing a child's hair.
All right, so my old boss sent
Which-
me a collage of like 100 different photos.
That's incriminating as fuck.
That created a new photo. There was a photo of Joe Biden smiling that was made out of photos of Joe Biden sniffing girls' hair.
Yes.
That's how deep it goes.
Yeah, like...
And it's over like 3 decades. 'Cause some of them are black and
Prepubescent.
white. Yeah, some of them are black and white. Some of these girls are grown now.
Yes. Yeah. And like, yeah, there's no the thing why I was bringing up that post is because it got fact checked by Facebook.
And they were like, "Fuck this
And
shit."
I clicked on I was like,
Are these
what?
fake photos?
What the heck? Are these fake photos? Like, did Joe Biden not really sniff 16 underage women? And I clicked on the fact check thing, and the fact check thing was like, people are accusing Joe Biden of being a pedophile, but there's never been any allegations or any convictions whatsoever. And I'm like, okay,
No
but
public convictions, no public
16
allegations.
photos of him sniffing prepubescent girls? That's not evidence of anything, is it? That's not evidence of anything. He's just a weird grandpa that likes sniffing.
All right.
Who does that?
Yeah.
Who does that?
No, he does.
And it's people that fuck kids. That's who does that. Okay? That's evidence enough.
Can I be honest? Like, most people like me, I didn't vote, by the way, guys. I'm sorry. You can crucify me.
I was taking a hit, but I was about to tell you, don't be honest, please.
No, fight me. I don't care.
Don't-
I didn't vote for Obama, but I lied about that
What?
for years. I'm sorry. I loved Obama. I actually really loved him, and I thought he would legalize weed, but here we are.
I'm gonna beat your honesty.
Drop the
right here.
bomb.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
drop the bomb right here, right now. Look. I'm not gonna blame this on bad sound quality because we're outside. I'm gonna wait till this sound is over, and then I'm really gonna say it. The truth bomb. I, as a 28-year-old adult, have never voted in anything.
As
never.
a 30-year-old adult, I've never voted in anything but a promenade. I voted.
What even is that?
It's a public school popularity contest. See who's hot.
So. Fuck yeah.
Most of the school.
That's what I'm talking about.
Most of the school would fuck Anna Mulligan. She's not listening to this, but if she is, you're still hot, probably.
Is that like Macaulay Culkin's twin?
No, she was some girl that went to high school with me that was on the ballot. I don't know. She was
Nice.
well
She
known.
won hottest.
She was well known and going to be. I think she was on the prom queen thing. I might just be. Anna Mulligan might just be a girl that I thought was hot. She might have nothing to do with prom queen at Evans High School, which is where I went.
Have you seen her
But have
lately?
you ever thought about? Yeah, she's okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are hot when you're fucking like 18. That
Yeah.
you're like, ah. This is why the bit about the sex worker is so fucking germane, because they send you all this fucking shit, and you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, and then you're like $80, and they send you like a fucking.
You're like, can we get this price lower?
Yeah, no, yeah. What is it about men that you feel like you lower your own value when you pay for it? You know? But also, like, I paid $20. So, like, I was at this, you know the thing they do downtown? The
Which
Saturday
thing?
morning market thing? It's like a
Like a slave market?
No, fuck you. I mean, kind of. It's like a bazaar.
It would not surprise me.
I mean,
Augusta, Georgia.
if people were still producing slaves, it's about producing. I'm sorry, but that's honest. Like in the time that slaves were marketed, it was about what was being produced. But no, it's like a market. It's a bazaar. It's God, we're never gonna recover from that. Sorry, listeners, if you're still not.
Is it a horror market?
No, it's not a horror market. You shit. What is wrong with you? God damn it! It's an art market. It's a fucking. It's a Saturday morning bazaar. It's a Saturday morning.
Yeah, like a farmer's market for paintings.
It's a farmer's market. They have pickles and shit. They don't have fucking. They don't have hookers or slaves. And god damn it, you fucking podcast me.
Okay, if you want a sex worker or a field worker, you're gonna have to go to a different podcast. I don't know what podcast advertises those, but this is not the one. So anyway. You went to this farmer's market for a
I went to this farmer's market, and this girl sold me on this like Colombian breakfast. It was like tacos. It was like a hard fried tortilla something on top of jerk chicken and beef base with some sort of like sauce that they spread on.
Sounds delicious.
It was honestly great. I've never had it. I don't eat mayonnaise, y'all. I don't eat mayonnaise. I don't.
Why?
Because I'm autistic. I eat the first thing I eat at your restaurant and nothing else. So if I go there, like I go to Metal Mushroom and I get the burger. The first time I went there, I got the burger and it worked, and I liked
Pacific Rim is such a good pizza.
That is a good pizza. I've actually had other things at Metal Mushroom, but when I go there,
so you're a liar.
I am a bit of a liar, but when I go there, in general, like I go there like 4 times a week because I spend too much money. But I go there to sit in the company of people, right?
Right.
To alleviate the same loneliness this hooker is offering me. We're going to circle all the way back for all my non-ADD people. We started this about sex work.
It's like Billy Joel said, sharing a drink called loneliness, but it's better than drinking alone.
It is. So, like, I let this fucking chick at a farmer's market talk me into spending $26 on a breakfast when I only wanted coffee. Because she kept telling me the shit was good and she was cute.
Yeah.
But somehow it hits
It'll
hits your Y chromosome when you're like, I want to pay you explicitly for attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how Lilium has described
with sex
OnlyFans a lot. Because Lilium just started an OnlyFans, which they publicly posted about. I'm not like revealing. I'm not revealing any big secrets here, but apparently the thing about OnlyFans, I thought it was like, when I imagine OnlyFans, I was thinking about my current porn experience, which is like looking through Reddit or Instagram or whatever for feet pictures and like whatnot. Like,
I can't believe you use Reddit for porn.
Yeah, bro, Reddit is the best for porn.
I never thought to use it for porn. Like, all of
my listeners need to check out all the porn on Reddit.
So there's this one Reddit that's like, I don't know what it's called, but it's like girls expose themselves briefly in public. That was kind of hot.
Hold the moan?
Maybe, but it's like they just
Maybe.
like pull
There's
up
a
pull down their
subreddit.
pants in public.
There's a subreddit called Hold the Moan, and it's for
Are they beating it in
public
public?
sex.
That's different. Oh, okay.
just any sexual act in public.
Oh shit! That's a whole different kink.
Yeah,
trying to hold it
it's a
down.
kink.
Trying to hold it down while your friend is in the next room, and
Yeah,
you're like, I'm not
right.
trying to let him know. That's a whole different kind of fucking like. I have to reserve this shit.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, I thought OnlyFans was like mainly for that. Like, you want pictures, but you want more pictures from the same person. So you subscribe to this person's OnlyFans, and they put out more content, and you got more pictures and videos. No. What people on OnlyFans are paying for is the specific attention of the person who runs that OnlyFans.
Of one person.
They want to talk to that person. They want to message that person. They want their dick rated on a scale from 1 to 10.
I don't know if my fucking Y. I don't know if my chromosome is deficient. To be honest, if you look at a Y, you ever look at the letter Y?
Yeah.
It is one line away from the letter X.
Yeah.
You ever think about that? That's actually why the Y chromosome is named the way it is.
Yeah.
It is a deficient X
Well,
chromosome.
because they're shaped like that, right?
They're shaped like
under
the
a microscope. It's shaped
under a
like
microscope. It's shaped like a little deficient X chromosome. It's like someone tried to build an X and they couldn't get it all the way together.
that. Yeah, it's like they took one of the X's ribs.
Yeah.
And put it into the.
And that's where they keep the ovaries on the outside, and they make some sperm, make 30,000 sperm a day, and fucking grow a beard, which I can kind of do, by the way. But fucking that's where they keep all that shit. Like that's your chromosome deficiency. But what's interesting about that for guys dating is if you're in an intimate relationship, you have this level of validation that you don't get if you're single and you're a guy. If you're single and you're a guy, you get this validation on the fact that like you're fuckable, honestly that's it. You get the validation that you're fuckable. You get the validation that you're like someone that somebody would fuck on a one night stand. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
When you're in a relationship, you get this validation that you are worth slightly more, that you are attractive. Sometimes you're in a relationship, you know. Not all the time. Sometimes you feel like dirt.
Right.
But most of the time, you feel like this person chose me.
And I think it comes with like being in a relationship for a long time. Something that, like, one of the fruits of being in a long-term relationship is that you like slowly stop believing the person that you're in a relationship with, that they're like, you know, constantly complimenting you all the time, saying like, oh, you're so hot, or you're so cute, and you're like, okay, yeah, but we've been together for like 4 years, and you've been saying that the whole time. Like, do you really mean that, or are you just saying that because you've been saying that?
So this is
or
real
like,
advice from someone whose long-term relationship failed. Live in the world you want to live in. If you want to live in the world where that girl fucking believes that shit, and that's what's happening,
yeah,
dive into that.
you
That's
are
what's
what you
happening.
think, huh?
You are what you think. I really believe that.
Yeah.
Because both are true, Andrew. It's like at this moment, I'm a single man. There's like 3 girls that I would love to fucking like really connect with me and like something take off, right?
Yeah.
I would also love for any one of those 3 girls to be like, hey, to come over and fuck me, right? That'd be great. All 3 are true.
Yeah.
Now, if I get into a relationship, I'm not more or less capable of cognitive dissonance. I'm the same level of capable,
Yeah.
right? So in that relationship, I'm capable of the cognitive dissonance of like, this relationship works, it's great for me, and I love it. And also, at moments when you fucking won't, I asked you for one thing. You don't work all day. Can you please take the trash out, right?
Yeah.
So like, those are the moments when you're like, I don't know what I'm doing this for. Both are true. You're doing it because you love this person and you want to be with them. And also, they forgot the trash. And what the fuck? Who does that? So
Yeah.
what decides
That's-
what is really true? Right? Both are true in that moment. There's a Schrodinger.
But then there are also times when, like, and I think that might be where the distrust in my own, you know, relationship sense have come from,
Yeah.
is like being in a relationship with somebody who for so long was lying about that shit. About how, like, I'm the only one for them and how, like, we're gonna be together forever. Like, that's literally what getting married is supposed to mean, is we're gonna be together
So now
forever.
you're in this moment of like, is that a thing? Or was that
Doesn't even exist.
But Andrew, both were true. Both were true. And what makes the difference is what you choose. There's a real, like, so this comes up in karate and, like, fucking... My stepdad has 3 black belts. And then when I was a kid, I really wanted to be cool with him on this, like, karate level. But I'm not... I mean, people listening to the podcast can't see me, but I'm, like, 90 pounds soaking wet. I'm very, very small.
Yeah.
I'm not a karate guy. But I learned karate. I learned fucking this really specific kind of like karate from my stepdad that is it's not really super applicable. It's like female fucking like self-defense shit. It's a lot of throw you over my shoulder.
Kick him in the balls and stab
Yeah,
him
it's
in
a
the
lot of
eyes.
throw you over my shoulder kind of shit.
Okay.
But it focuses on the part of jiu-jitsu that is relevant. Joe Rogan talks about this. He talks about rolling with people.
Right.
There's this concept that is true in reality, and it's true spiritually. I know you're not big on the spiritual concepts, but it's also true metaphysically. You have to accept where you're at to enact your power in the moment. So,
Yeah.
like, in the moment, both are true. You might have a girlfriend who is, like, foot out the door. I'm going to speak from my experience. I had a girlfriend who I feel like was foot out the door and also, like, wanted to get into this shit. And that's where the wedding ring comes in handy, because the wedding ring is this, like, societal bond of, like, we're into this shit. It makes the choice for you. And I tell this bit, but it's true. You wake up every morning and you decide on this person. Or you don't.
Right.
You may wake up tomorrow, Andrew, and be like, you know what, fuck this shit. I'm going to Vegas. I want to go to Vegas. Fuck this shit. I'm going to wait tables in Vegas till somebody discovers me. You know what I mean? And you could literally do that. It's all about your choices.
It would be an awful plan, but yeah.
It would be an awful plan. I don't think it would work out great, but it would be a choice you can make. You're the god of your choices, right?
I don't know if I believe that.
I think you are the god of your choices.
I think there's a lot more deterministicness to the world than free will. I think that the way, like, our genetics, the way we were raised, the choices that were made for us along the path that we took have a lot more, if not a lot more, at least an equal amount of influence on us as our own personal, quote, consciousness.
I can see that.
Which, like, free will What a question. What a fucking topic.
So there's this, my brother's super
What?
hardcore atheist, and I always got to make room for him, man. Right? His idea of free will, I can't speak for him. He'd have to tell you guys this shit. He's a pretty deep person, so I'm going to just synopsize my outside view of his reality. Real quick.
Yes, tell us your view of somebody else's view.
Yeah.
Instead of your own.
So, like, alright, I'll say my own. I feel like
yes.
we
What
are...
is your view of free will versus determinism?
Yeah.
How much free will do you think you have?
I have as much free will. I am the god of my choices in the moment. But Andrew, God gave me this narrow view of the choices that I've made. And I'm only getting the choices that I've made, that I've identified with.
Yeah.
There's another version of me that chose different things, and I don't know where he is.
Look, you know exactly where he is. You are in a very unique position as a human being, being a fucking twin.
And that I can estimate.
You have literally another example. You have a
That's
sample of what your life would be like had you made different choices. But on top of that, you're fraternal twins, so you don't share exact DNA. You're not exactly the same person.
No, Will's not nearly as bad. So Will suffers more from the depressive side of my family. No one knows this, but my family's inheritance is like 2 balls of serotonin that we all get to chase around.
Oh my god.
That's a bit that I'm working on, but like that's literally how I feel. It's like my whole family. My dad has seasonal dysphoric disorder.
Yeah.
My mom has never gone to a doctor except for one time, and when he did, he diagnosed it with bipolar.
So what happened with your brother? He just missed out on
He got depression when we were 11. Will had major depression, and they gave him Zoloft.
But so you're saying whatever he did, whatever choices he made to push through it, were like, those were his choices.
Yeah.
And
they were made from his brain chemistry. So like I think that Will actually.
But brain chemistry isn't your choice.
No, it's not. So I suffer from a lot of neuroticism. Like, I feel like I'm very extroverted compared to Will. And I feel like it's because I'm neurotic. I want people to like me. Will doesn't actually care if people like him. And I actually envy this about him. I want people to like me. If I meet you and you don't like me, your friend, I met your friend at the Joe's the other day, and I wanted that chick to like me so fucking bad. I don't even know her from Eve. I just wanted her, Ansley. I want her to like me so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know why. I was like, please like me.
I thought you were talking about Corey for a minute.
Who's Corey?
The guy we were talking up before you met him.
Oh, yeah, I like Corey. No, Corey's cool, too, because that's a whole other phenomenon. You guys like Corey so much that you preface him with, like, a buffer before I even met him. You're like, Corey's coming over. He's fucking dope. He's this way. And, I don't know, man. I feel like...
Well, I just wanted to know, and like, Corey, if you're listening, which I have no idea if he even listens to this, he was on 2 episodes so far, so
nice.
I really hope he listens. But, like, he is, like, I don't know. I think maybe we hyped him up too much to where, like, we made him kind of like a celebrity to you, and then once you met him, it was like meeting a fucking celebrity, and that maybe like made him feel a little bit awkward about meeting you.
Dude, my brother was that way. So like no one believed I had a twin. Because people would meet me first, because I'm the extroverted motherfucker.
Right.
They'd be like, oh, Frank's cool. Let me invite Frank to my birthday. And I'm like, oh, I'm 13. Can my brother come too? Because my parents are weird. Right?
What's up?
And he was like the unicorn of our high school. Corey, y'all introduced him like a unicorn. You're like, this motherfucker has like a glowing horn. And he comes in just the sound of trumpets. You know what I mean? And actually, I wasn't disappointed at all meeting him.
Which to me he does.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was not disappointed at all.
Motherfucker is angelic.
You want your friends to feel that way about you. And I love that you guys are that, like, genuine that you feel that way about people. I feel like there's a deficit in the world lately of, like, genuineness and connectivity that we don't connect with people in a real way. And you're prefacing this like, oh, I oversold Corey, and I feel like that was weird. But no, I like Corey. He taught me something about tarot that I had never heard. He taught me a different spread that he had made up.
Okay.
And it was a 6-card spread of like what you are going through and what you can do about it.
I realize we've gotten way off track here.
Way off track. My
So
ADD is on
what
fire.
is
I'm gonna
what
pee in this brush
exactly
in a second.
is your view of free will versus determinism?
Oh, circling back to the real bits.
Yes,
I like
the
it.
real shit.
This is the mark of a good interviewer. He's keeping me on the brass tacks. I love it.
Yeah.
So, like, free will, so the Taoists say this, and I have this written on a notebook that I write this on every new notebook that I start. You have to accept your position to find your power.
Okay.
Right? So, like,
Tend to the part of the garden you can touch.
yes. Yeah, that's in the Bible. Wait,
That's not the
is that
Bible.
the Bible?
That's Buddha.
Is that Buddha?
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure that's Buddha.
That probably
Don't look
is
at
Buddha.
me. I'm
But the,
read things in a long
the
time.
phrase that I like is, you have to... Damn, what did you say? Tend to the part of the garden? What did I say?
Tend to the part of the garden you can
What
touch.
did I say before that, though?
You said... I can't remember.
This is the Relapse Podcast 2.0. You have to touch you have to, so like what I say at work is when someone new comes in above me, because like where I work is middle management, so there's a lot of like turnaround and higher management guys, by the way. All you have to do is get into higher management and then you can grift around to different organizations. But, what I say is, you don't know what chairs are nailed down and what can roll, right?
Okay.
So, like, you have to find out what in your life you can move and what you can't. And
God grant me the serenity
to accept the things I cannot
Yeah.
change. And, like, it's cliche as fuck, dude, but it's very true.
How do you know what you can and cannot change?
And so, like, where it comes into determinism,
Yeah.
that's what you were asking me, is the Taoists say, so, like, guys, you have this moment. I actually don't believe in the afterlife. I
Okay.
think this makes me weird among Christians.
What do you think happens?
Nothing.
Let's stay on topic. Anyway, free will.
Free will. You're here to make choices. God wants to know what Andrew Wieberdink is gonna make.
Have
Stop
it.
Sorry.
dead naming me.
I'm sorry, dead
Right.
name.
Have it.
God gave you that dead name so you could kill it.
Yeah.
Like, for real. So in 1993, God was like, there's gonna be this fucker. He's gonna be a scrawny fuck that's gonna be hilarious and beautiful. He's gonna look.
I'm pretty sure that God exists just for me to kill him. But anyway.
Kinda. I mean, for real. Like, the concept of God represents the cowing of our people. So, like,
It literally is why it was invented.
well, yeah. So, like, I like God. I relate to God on a level of, like,
You relate to God? Okay.
oh. At one point when I was going through serious delirium tremens, I had this epiphany where I was like, we're all Jesus.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, how are you not Jesus, Andrew?
How are you not?
You're the physical manifestation of God, right?
Yeah.
And I think when you die, you asked me about free will. When you die, I think you go back to God. And I think you're actually here to see what this fucker will do.
So you do believe in an afterlife, just not.
I think you recycle.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to come back as a jackalope.
Well, see, and you were
shit.
talking earlier about, like, possibly being the one who chose
I
to
think I
be
asked
in
for
this body.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a whole theory about, like, life on this planet is a simulation, right? Like, it's a big game of Sims.
It's a ride.
It's a ride. It's.
And Andrew asked somebody, he was
You
like,
watch
let
Rick
me
and
get on
Morty?
this ride. I want to be Andrew Wieberdink.
Have you
and
watched
then I'm gonna
Rick
change
and
it.
Morty?
Yeah, of course.
You know the Roy game?
Yes,
Yeah.
where you play
Yeah.
as Roy.
Yeah,
and you
we're
get to be
basically
alive.
playing a game of Roy.
Yes.
And we chose to
I
be
really
this
believe
fucking
that.
asshole.
Yes, I really believe that. I think I'm here to see. So, like, you're here to So you say you didn't believe that you were the god of your choices because you think, and I'm gonna presume.
I think that at least within this simulation that we are a part of currently, that the avatar that I have been given is determined to make a certain set of choices, and there are a certain, like, there's an influence that I am able to have over it in a little way, but most of the time I'm going to be making choices based off of the way that my brain has been constructed, which is based off of the simulation, which I may or may not have in a different life chosen.
Here's what I really think. I think you chose to be Andrew Wieberdink. I think you chose to be born on, what are you, a Libra? Right?
Pisces.
Pisces, so you were born in June,
February.
Damn, I got that all wrong.
All of it.
You chose to be born in the day you were born. I think you actually chose your family. I think I chose my twin. even though we're very different. I actually don't think that he's... You ever heard the concept of a twin flame?
Yeah.
I actually don't think my twin is my twin flame. I think I share a soul with him, and that we're both here to learn different things. But not like I share a soul like we're one deterministic person. There's an Andrew Wieberdink that is way behind Andrew Havok, who's way behind any of this shit. He already knew Brittany before he ever
there are
met
tons
Brittany.
of different universes.
There's an I behind the me, right? So there's the me, the Frank that wears like, that's about to go pee in your bush, because I really got to pee.
Don't
And
you
we're
pee
going
in
to
my
make the
greenhouse.
podcast listen to it. But there's an I behind the me.
Yeah.
And that I asked somebody, he asked somebody for a ticket on this ride. And maybe he wants to get off pretty soon, but like, I don't know, I feel like you're the god of your choices. I feel like you're down here to choose what you choose. And you're right in that you're a bit locked into what you choose, but it's like a first person shooter. You play Call of Duty, right?
Yeah.
It's like you play Call of Duty.
Halo.
Yeah, or Halo, and you're tucked down in a bunker, and you're getting fucking like.
You
hand
choose
on.
what you choose, but the path is already set before you.
The shitty part is that everyone else is also choosing what they choose, and God gave everyone free will. That's what Satan was so mad about.
But we're all God.
We're all God, and we all get to choose. So that's why we're unhappy. Everyone acts like God's to blame because we're unhappy. We're to blame because we're unhappy. Because I don't want you to be fully happy, Andrew, because if you're fully happy, I don't get everything I want. And unfortunately, that's how the world works. I actually think that's why we don't have... I think you have fully free choices, but they all suck. and you're choosing the best option of the ones you have. The Buddhist, the Taoist, the thing that I was
Like
edging
voting.
towards... Yeah, the thing that I was edging towards is you have to accept your position to find your power. Right?
Yeah.
You're Andrew... Dead naming you, I'm sorry. I'm going to apologize this time. I've done it 7 times, but I'm apologizing this time. Andrew Wieberdink, and you chose to be that guy. At some point, you were like, I want these families. I want to know Lil.
Well, I
I
never-
like Lil. I want to know Brittany. I want to know Frank. I'm choosing this life.
So you're talking metaphysically. I chose
Way metaphysically.
way before I was born.
But when I get there, I want to make authentic choices. And so you are making authentic choices based on a template that you chose. You're like, I want to be this guy, but I want to choose these things. And I want to have these values. I want to see how it goes. Because I don't know what Brittany's going to choose. And that's going to challenge my values in ways that I have no idea. And I actually think that's what God's here to do. I think we're actually the neurons of God. And that, like, you know, have you ever experienced cognitive dissonance?
Yeah.
It's a psychological...
all the time.
Yeah, it's a psychological thing of, like, I want this, but I also want this. Right?
Yeah.
We all experience
Well,
this thing.
quitting smoking is a perfect example.
So, like, Frank wanting the things Frank wants, and Frank wanting these things, and Andrew wanting the things Andrew wants, and those two things rubbing up against each other, although me and Andrew are great friends, and we never have rubbed up against each other, but let's say, right?
Not yet.
This rubbing up, it will happen, because we're people. No, for
Yeah,
real.
we'll rub up
It will
against
happen.
each other at some point.
We're all God rubbing up against each other. So where you find the rub is actually the same thing as cognitive dissonance. It's your brain trying to work out what's important. Right?
Yeah, there is the rub.
There's always the
For
rub.
what dreams may come when we shuffle off this mortal coil.
And so do your neurons sit there and have anxiety? Fucking probably.
Probably.
Like,
All the
real
time.
talk. If I'm a neuron for God, I'm having hella anxiety, man. I feel like my neurons are fucking pissed. That's why I like heroin.
Yeah, and the thing that gets me the most is people that don't acknowledge whatsoever that, like, any of this is part of the rest of this. Or people that, like...
Regret is part of learning.
Regret is part of learning, and on top of that, the just existing is hard.
Yeah.
And some people don't get that. They're like, oh yeah, I'm just existing. I go to work every day. I do my job. I have kids and a family. La-di-da-di-da. I'm just going on existing. And I'm like, how the fuck do you just go on existing every day and you don't question the fact that, holy shit, I'm here for what reason? I'm here to work, to be here to, you know, I don't know. It's just a very difficult question for me.
I feel like you're here to make other people... Alright, I'm gonna be honest. Like, you're here in the same way, so, like... What do you want your neurons to do? Let's say you got one neuron fucking shit up for everybody nearby, and you got a brain tumor, right?
I want that neuron to be funny.
If you got, well, yeah. But if you got one neuron that's fucking shit up for all the other neurons, he's communicating toxic shit and making all the other neurons act outside of themselves.
Yeah.
You have a malignant brain tumor. What do you got?
Yeah.
Like, right? Because that's what a malignant brain tumor does.
Basically is.
It, like, bad fishes all the other neurons. And it's like, wouldn't you like to produce, like, way more than you can use? And wouldn't you like to be a fat fucking tumor that doesn't think at all?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're having strokes in the middle of the workday. You gotta go get your brain tumor removed, right? So, like, you can be that guy. God gave you the choice to be that neuron. Or you can try to be flowy with it. You can try to accept where you're at and, like, I don't know. I feel like your neurons all the time are accepting that things aren't going their way. Not all neurons can fire at the same time.
A lot of the times.
You ever have
And
that moment?
A lot of the times I've thought that, like, something that I,
Winston.
I don't know, it's something I don't usually, like, talk to people about, but, like, the fact that if, like, my brain didn't work properly, like, if I was at the point where I needed constant assistance, like, how much easier my life would be to, like, not have to do anything.
No.
I don't have to think about
Imagine
anything.
being Alzheimer's and,
I
like, someone
literally
changes your
cannot
diaper.
even contemplate my own existence. That sounds like bliss to me.
That does not sound bad.
That sounds like something that I would be totally down for. I don't know. It's been...
Oh, me and your dog are peeing together.
Hey!
Stop it.
Frank and the dog have decided to pee together in harmony because both Frank and the dog are both God, and we should be worshiping them equally, as well as tithing on the Patreon, which I don't have yet. So, or OnlyFans, which I also don't have yet.
You should
So
get verified. That's
I would have
easier.
had the flashlight on for that bit.
I've been doing a lot of thinking about, like, content I would put on OnlyFans.
Now that your podcast has already heard me and you piss. I don't know if we need an OnlyFans. R. Kelly, like, you got it right here. We got it.
We're
got the
too
whole
old.
bit.
Been old for my taste,
We are too
said R.
old.
Kelly.
And I don't have the... He wants bigger boobs, I feel like. I feel like he's a...
I don't think he wants bigger boobs if he's going for the youngins.
I don't know. I feel like he's going
If
for
he's
the
going
big-
for the
Alright, someone, Jamie, pull up R. Kelly's fucking hit list, because I want to know.
pull up R. Kelly's taste in boobs. Somebody. I guarantee you it's small. Like, come on. You're not, like...
Boobs is a whole other thing. What's up with sexual attraction?
To boobs?
No, just to people.
Sexual attraction in general?
There's
What's
a million
up with
different
it?
things. Like,
My
I'm not...
dick!
Well, there's like your dick. There's Andrew. You got high cheekbones and pretty eyes. It's hard to fucking, you know what I mean? Steer away
It's
from.
hard to not get a boner around me.
You
I
got
get
good
it.
fucking hair. Like I'm trying hard here, man. But fucking
Not hard enough.
not hard enough. Sorry. So I need like 14.
No one's ever hard enough.
I need 14 gas station pills before
Yes.
I'm ready for Andrew. I'm
Those-
sorry.
Hornets.
Dude, if I ever OD on anything, I want it to be gas station pills. So fucking
Just
bad.
so that it says that in the jail report.
Just so it says that. OD'd on gas station pills and attacked the
OD'd
sheriff.
on gas station boner pills.
Oh, man. Alright, so, like... Being single after you're in a long-term relationship. You're in a long-term relationship, you want to fuck for, like... You're like, you're trying to impress your partner, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, alright, I'm going to do this. You already know what's going on. You don't feel like you have to do anything.
Eventually, you feel like you have to spice things up.
You do a little bit, yes, but, like... I'm not going to lie. It wasn't, like, the same kind of pressure, but... Having sex with randos... I'm like, I don't have enough Percocet for this. What do you do, by the way, when you got sober and your original fucking love language was drugs?
Ooh.
You're like, how do I talk to people?
Good question, because that's
Right.
how weed was for
Thank
me for
you.
the
You're like, how do I
longest
talk
time.
to people? Do you want to smoke? And they're like, no, I want to get to know you as a person. You're like, yeah, but smoke.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah, but drugs, though?
That's all right. So my original love language was like hard drugs, Andrew. I used to do shit people lied about, like fucking If I wanted to,
Just so you know, you don't have to out yourself to the whole internet.
I don't give a fuck. I used
Okay.
to do crazy hard drugs, guys, like really hard shit. I did this bit on my last girlfriend. I dated her for like 7 years because she was normal. I just wanted someone normal to like me. Druggy
Yeah.
girls, by the way, don't go for druggy girls. They're like normal girls, but they're on drugs.
Hey, hey.
No offense, Britt. I love you. You're not on drugs
Everybody's
now.
on drugs.
Everybody's on drugs.
Is that weird
Everybody
song?
is on
We are all
some
on
kind
drugs.
of drug.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I recompartmentalize my compulsive behavior into different things when I'm not doing that. So, like, if I'm on drugs and I'm like, I'm doing this drug, that's my compulsive thing. But if I don't have that, then I just compulse over, like, women I'm talking to
Or cigarettes.
or cigarettes or a friend of mine. I'll be like, this friend of mine is my best friend and we talk every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm
Starting to feel a little bit of that.
I'm going to a doctor. No, for real. I'm going to a doctor to like fucking figure out if I'm doing anything right. Cause like, who knows?
Probably not.
No, probably not.
It's not usually the way it goes on your
Yeah,
own.
usually once you have to start asking yourself,
Am I
do
doing
I
it
need
right?
someone to tell me whether or not this is right? I do, actually.
Usually, like, at least a YouTube video.
Well, I've done a couple YouTube videos. So like one that I like is one about just it's about CPTSD. But it gave me a lot of good advice. It's actually, if anyone's listening to this and you're like struggling, it's called School of Life. It's a really
I
good.
love those videos.
Yeah, it's a really good YouTube
they're really
video
good.
channel about like they're really secular advice, but very philosophical. So they try to like touch the spiritual.
Yeah.
I actually do think there's like. So I think there's like 8 dimensions that you cut yourself across, but I'm only aware of like 5. So it's like your body, your mind, your spirit. Those are the big 3.
Yeah.
And there's a 4th dimension that I have no idea what the fuck is going on with.
Time.
Right? There's got to be time. But I also feel like we've already done all this. Do y'all ever get deja vu really bad? I
All
get
the
really
time.
bad. And I found out my grandfather, whose name I share, had really prophetic dreams, and I have really prophetic dreams. Like I'll wake up.
Same.
Dude, I'll wake up and like have 5 minutes of a dream stuck in my head, and it will be exactly what happens like later on.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but also not super weird because that's
But see, you told me
Some of that's
about
just
you
your
used to
math.
do the lucid dreaming thing.
yes,
And
that's
I'm sure that like affects it a lot. And I've
recently.
recently started writing down my dreams because I want to like get into that shit because like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people have told me like with acid like, "Oh, bro, I was freaking out. Like I went crazy on that shit. Like it was insane and intense and I couldn't control myself or whatever." And every time I've ever done acid, I'm like, "Okay, this is cool." And like I've been able to like kind of keep myself grounded or within my own headspace. And I think I might be able to do that with dreaming too.
I think
'Cause
you
a lot
should.
of people have said similar stuff about lucid dreaming.
You'd be surprised at how similar. So like this is fucked up, but so I'm drinking right now.
Yeah.
I'm very functional in a different mind state. I've been on fucking. You ever done LSA, which is like LSD? It's just seeds. You eat
No.
them. So I did that for like 3 days one time, and it started with my friend at his friend's house, and we were hanging out with his mom, and like you act perfectly normal. One of the things I used to get off on about drugs in general was being fucked ass up, the control of being fucked ass up and acting normal.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty in control now. We've drank, let me see, you've probably drank
Not
like
quite
2 or
half.
3 cups, but we've drank
Yeah.
like half of this. I started this, I'm like 6 shots deep, and I haven't drank in like 3 years. I get off really hard on like how high tolerance is. But I don't think that like,
Which is probably instilled in you from a very young age by somebody saying like, "Don't be a pussy, drink more."
right, well my dad drank a lot, and I drank a first beer with my dad, and it was, I don't know, I was like 11? No, my parents got divorced when I was 8, so I had to be like 9 or 10.
God
He
damn.
stopped fucking with us at 2
Same,
years
bruh.
after the divorce.
Same.
So like, I feel like early exposure causes a problem with that, but I feel like for you, this is where I was edging towards. That was me being just, I guess, sharing some sad shit with your audience. But fucking, for you, do you smoke a lot of weed before you go to bed?
It depends.
I will not go
Sometimes
to.
yes, sometimes no. Like, sometimes I just pass out. Sometimes I drink too much, and then...
He's also narcoleptic, so.
Yeah, you have told me that. I will stay up out of anxiety if I can't smoke pot before I go to bed, because if I don't smoke pot before I go to bed, it won't scramble my dream, which is the whole thing.
Yeah.
But if you
Well,
smoke pot,
THC does interrupt REM sleep.
it ruins your REM sleep and it scrambles your dream. So you'll still have, like, you'll still be asleep for that time, but your brain won't REM and you won't remember it.
Yeah.
If I have, like, a REM moment, basically REM is like your brain, like your subconscious, like, decompressing your shit. What you should do, because you haven't fucked up your shit, is before you go to bed, you should try to think of bits. Like, write down, like, I want to think of bits, and let your subconscious brain think of bits. Because I think that premonition, intuition, fucking vibes, something that me and Brittany talk about a lot, like being an empath.
Yeah.
I think all of that is just subconscious math. I think there's this whole part of your brain that does like a huge amount of math that
The
you're
awareness
not
without input.
right, that you're aware of but not fully aware of, and you can harness that, but it becomes difficult for different people. And I think that if you haven't fucked up your REM sleep by trying to fucking lucid dream, you should try to use that. There's a guy, one of the guys I listen to about mid-century like success theory shit, talks about before you go to bed, focus on what you did today. Was it in line with what you wanted? And what do you want to do tomorrow? And if you set your subconscious mind to what does Andrew want to do tomorrow, it'll actually produce that. You'll wake up in the morning with like, oh shit, like
I need to do this.
Like for real, because we have this whole bit of our brain that just doesn't do shit because we're afraid of it. Like I really feel that way.
Talking about subconscious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Subconscious, and also just like that fractional math that you do in the moment where you're like, oh, I wonder if I should do this, and it works out, and you meet your wife or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Everyone that I've talked to has had these moments of like intense intuition, and if you listen to it, you follow it, and something good happens, and that's your subconscious mind doing math for you, if that makes sense.
So
we're way off topic.
We're like,
I don't know what we started on.
It doesn't matter. I was about to go even like to a different topic, but we're like 2 hours in here.
Are we really?
Yes.
Look at
And
time
I'm thinking,
flying.
right, yeah. And like there's got to be something uplifting. What is something
What is right
uplifting?
with you today,
What is going
Frank?
right with you? What is something that you would maybe pass on to, say, like, a future generation of people that have not run into all of these problems yet? What's a piece of advice? What's something that we can cling on to here that is not just...
Let's pick the major depression, motherfucker.
Yes. Yeah.
Some positive
That's the
advice.
whole exercise.
I think you asked to be here, and I think that you, in those
You've
moments...
said that a few times, and I like that.
I really like that. I like that
we
I asked to be
chose
here.
to be here.
So in those moments where I'm like super depressed and I'm super like fucking just want to make modern art.
Be like,
Like,
you
you
wanted to feel this, motherfucker.
Yeah, right. You wanted to feel this. You asked the question. You really did. So like the girl that you want to talk to that is ghosting you, the guy that you thought was so great that fucking like, you know what I mean, dipped out on you or whatever. The job that you thought was a great opportunity but turned out to be another soul-sucking fucking corporate fucking nonsense job that just made you depressed. Whatever it is, you ask the question. And you're the god of your choices. You're here to make choices and find out what it is. So, like, I'm in a bit of a depressive mood right now. Y'all, I think I made this joke. This is the third time. This is the Relapse podcast.
Yeah.
You're talking to a guy in recovery who has identified himself as having a problem with drinking. And me and you, Andrew, are about 7 shots deep.
Yeah.
You're about 3. I'm about 4. We're good. No. You're about 3. I'm about 7 shots deep. I'll be honest with the audience. I'm good. But fucking, we made these choices. I asked to be here. So while I may be depressed in the moment, and anyone listening, you could be depressed in the moment, you will find that if you persevere, you will find a better outcome later, because life is fluctuative. There's a Buddhist story that there's a guy in the Buddhist stories. All the Buddhist stories are written before people were farming. I don't know why, but this guy's running through the jungle, and he's like running through the jungle, and a tiger starts chasing him, and he's running from the tiger, as you do when a tiger's chasing you. You run from that fucker.
Right.
So he runs from the tiger, as he has to because life put him in that choice. You were asking me about what I feel about determinism, right?
Yeah.
So life put this guy in the position where the best outcome he could find was to run.
What are
from
your
the tiger.
choices? Run from the tiger? Get 8.
I also think he's the god of his choices, and somehow he led himself to be in the woods with this tiger. But
if I was the god of my choices at that point in time, I'd probably run from the tiger.
Run from the fucking tiger. So he runs, and he's running, and he's running, and his adrenaline's pumping, and he's running, and he feels like he's going to get free, and suddenly the ground lets out from under him, and he's over a hole, and he's falling into this hole. So he reaches up and he grabs this branch, right? He's hanging on from this branch over a hole, and the tiger's still there. It actually stops short of the hole and starts growling at him. So he's hanging from this branch, he's looking down at the bottom, and he's looking up at this tiger, and he's thinking, God, this sucks. This is awful.
Yeah.
He hangs there for a minute. And after a minute, this dripping happens on his head. He starts feeling this drip on his head. And he turns his head up, and the blood's dripping on his head drips into his mouth, and he finds his honey. So in this moment where he's stuck on this branch, he's hanging on by one arm, he's fucking tired. He was running from a tiger. He's still in shock. But he's got this honey hitting his lips. He's like, that's kind of cool. So he takes that in for a moment. Then he looks down, and he thinks, oh God, I'm in this hole, there's this tiger. He looks down. He sees that the hole goes down for a minute, but he actually could reach the bottom. He could let go. He really hit the bottom. But he looks at the bottom, and he sees this viper, this poisonous animal at the bottom of this hole. And he thinks, if I let go, I'm going to hit this viper. It's going to bite me. I'm going to die. So he's trapped this moment with this tiger above him and this viper below him and this honey, and he has this second to like appreciate what he's going for, what's happening in the second. But he wants to let go, as you would if you were fucking hanging on by a fucking root with a tiger trying to kill you. I would want to let go. I would die. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't last through half of the Buddhist parables.
Right.
But anyway, he hangs on, and he takes the honey in, and he takes the moment of the happiness that he's in. And he thinks for a second. He hangs on, by the way, in this hole, the Buddhist parables, that he hangs there for like a day and a night or some crazy shit. Something that me and you would not do, by the way. I'd be dead in like 4 hours.
Yeah. Oh,
There's no way I'm hanging on to a branch for that long.
I would totally give up.
I'd be doing the math. Like, I could probably land on like the middle of this fucking viper, and then it would bite me in the dick, and I'd die.
Right.
But he hangs on. And he thinks to himself for a second, like, I should let go. I should just let go and land on this viper and let it bite me. If it doesn't bite me, maybe I can run. Maybe I can find a way to climb out of this hole before it gets a hold of my leg. And he doesn't, though. He hangs on. He persists. He thinks about, in the moment, just how much more work it would be to let go than to hang on and keep doing. And then he hears the tiger above him, like, growling. The tiger, like, gives a second, and then it darts at him. It like lunges, like a cat lunges at something below it, right?
Right.
And it falls. It falters, and it falls into this hole. And he watches this tiger, like, catches itself, like a cat does, and, like, looks up and then gets bitten by the viper.
Yeah.
Right? The viper, by the way, that it just stepped on and crushed. So it's bitten by the viper. It's killing the viper with its foot, and the man is just sitting there.
Yeah.
And he's hanging on. And he hangs on for a minute, and he sees the tiger, like, go lethargic and die. And then he lets go. And he falls onto this, like, tiger that's dead.
Yeah.
And that's kind of morbid, but, like, the tiger buffed his fall.
Right.
And he walks off. He goes back to the village. And he has this story about how he didn't let go. He hang on for a minute. Just a minute longer. And the world got more antsy than he did. And it gave way. And then he was able to walk through that crucible. And that's like a Buddhist parable, but it's also echoed in Christianity. Like,
so essentially, your entire point is the same thing as that poster with the kitten hanging off a tree branch that says, hang in there, baby.
Persistence is an act of faith. And you don't have to have faith in God or faith in Andrew Lieberding as a regular producer of podcasts, or Frank McCurry as someone who's like regularly shitty. Although you guys do, y'all hit me up and I'm like, hey, you want to come over and be shitty like you are? And I'm like, fuck yeah, and we come over and here we are.
That's not what we say, by the way.
I know. But like, persistence is an act of faith. And faith and persistence are both acts of manifestation. And we're manifesting this reality. So if you're persistent in what you think, and you have faith in what's going on, then reality happens around you. And that's literally what happens all day while you're working. And I think we should cut it there, because that's like all the good.
Deep. Kill your owner.
Yeah, but
Got it.
if it was really that secret, you wouldn't have heard about it.
Yeah.
would